Heck yeah, everybody. It is finally happening. Just like in The Office when Michael Scott busts out of his office and says, oh my gosh, it's happening. Everyone stay calm. Everyone stay the bleep calm. Just like that, except this isn't a fire drill and this isn't The Office. But this is the New England Patriots hiring offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels to Mike Vrabel's new regime. Heck yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. It's about to get crazy. My name's Aaron. You guys already know on the daily posting Patriots content right here. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below. First and foremost, how excited are you about Josh McDaniels being hired back to the Patriots? This is his third stint with the organization. Comment below. Let's hear from you. So obviously, jumping in, and we have a lot to talk about today. Besides Josh McDaniels being hired, we're going to jump into, at the end, talk a little draft stuff, talk about linebacker potentially being let go by Mike Vrabel. We'll see, or change his position. Who the heck knows? But we'll start the top of the show with the best news you will hear all day. Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator, six-time Super Bowl champion, returns to New England. Now, we know every single Super Bowl, obviously, as just stated, he was there with the Patriots that they won, whether he was the assistant, whether he was the offensive coordinator. Then he left as a young 32-year-old, was picked up by the Denver Broncos, had a stint there, was not ideal, drafted Tim Tebow, did win a playoff game, but went downhill after that, then had an odd stint with the Rams, then coming back to the Patriots, having great success, leaving after 1 year with Mac Jones, going to the Raiders, and then he got fired in 2023 and finally is making his return. Now, I want to jump into this just real quick, and I know that 2009 was a long time ago, but the reason I want to point this out is because I think it is going to help out this offense greatly, especially the fact that this offense, you look at by the numbers last year, the only glimmer of hope, Drake May. Granted, there's other people. I love Pop Douglas. Kayshon Boutte, I think, has potential. But besides that, Hunter Henry, obviously. Austin Hooper had some times. But besides that, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. A lot, especially starting out that offensive line. But I want to bring you back to the 2009-2010 Broncos. If you look at those teams, offensively, they were not anything sexy. And for the most part, when it came to yards, points, they're about the same each year. They're about average, in middle of the league. Again, you look at him going from a team like the Patriots to a team like the Broncos and trying to revitalize that offense. Not a bad job. Honestly, I think he got the short end of the stick there. Then he had a very odd stint with the Rams, if you remember that, right after he left the Broncos. They were awful. They were about last in everything. But again, if you remember that Rams team, it was gosh awful. Then you look at his time, obviously the time between the Rams and the Raiders was his time with the Patriots, his second stint where he went off, he did great, won some Super Bowls, handful of Super Bowls, and then he got his second stint as a head coach with the Oakland Raiders. Now, you look at, Las Vegas Raiders. It kills me to say that too. Wish they were still in Oakland. But anyways, that's beside the point. His first year in Oakland, unreal. When it came to yards and points, above average, above the middle of the road for the NFL. And if you remember, that Raiders team was not some prolific, great offensive juggernaut for the Raiders. Now, that next year was rough for him when you look at the offensive output. But let's remember, he has had points where he's taken awful offenses in his tenure outside of the Patriots and has greatly helped these teams. Now, I think as of right now, the two times he left the Patriots, he went into situations that weren't ideal. Remember the Broncos, Jay Cutler was gone. The Raiders is the Raiders. Honestly, it was just either job he took were not great jobs he took at the time. And so I really think he's looking at this job saying, if I can take Drake May, if I can take this offense, if I can turn it around and make it into something good, I can have one more opportunity as a head coach. Now, I don't think that's going to happen at the snap of a finger. I don't think that's going to happen in a year, but I truly think that in some aspect, that is in the back of his mind. Everyone says I'm a coordinator. I'm not a head coach. I'm a coordinator. I'm a coordinator. Yes, obviously one of the most successful offensive coordinators in our time, but his head coaching stints have not been successes. So I truly believe that he's going to go to the Patriots and say, "Hey, I'm gonna ball out here. I'm gonna make Drake May into a phenomenal player, turn this offensive around, and then hopefully get another opportunity." But again, I don't think that's going to be, I think, years down the road. But again, you never know. You never know. That being said, what else do you guys think about Josh McDaniels? How pumped are you? Again, I think the writing was on the wall. I don't think anyone is too surprised. He was available, ready to go. Great to have him. Great to have him. Now the question is, who's going to be the defensive coordinator moving forward? And then as well, what other positional coaches are going to be filled in? We know at wide receiver, we've talked about Wes Welker, who's going to be the new O-line coach, different positional coaches when it comes to the offense, obviously, and defense. So we will see moving forward. Now, next article, the Bleacher Report came out basically saying, hey, there's a handful of players that the Patriots should and possibly will immediately cut. Now, one of those is Jawan Bentley, who, if you guys remember during the season, he had a injury. His pec tore his pec, was not ideal. He was out, and I feel like it was just the dominoes were falling. Barmore was out. He was out. It just was not looking good for the Patriots. And then you had the whole incident with Peppers. It was just rough. But what's interesting is you look at Bentley, and Bentley as a linebacker, captain of this team, coming out of Purdue, and has really been a leader on and off the field for this franchise. Off the ball linebacker. So when it comes down to it, great when it comes to pass protection, but as well is a freaking hawk defending the run. Look at any of his highlights. You've watched his games. Look at any of that. He can run downhill and stop the run. Now, from what I've read, it's possible that Mike Vrabel looks at him and says, I would rather have him at a Mike middle type linebacker as opposed to off the ball type linebacker. Sure. Mike Vrabel, trust you, make the calls you need to make. But again, his contract isn't crazy. I believe right now it's like $4.6 million. Sure, they could go out there and try to find someone with the cap space they have. But also Bentley is tried and true. He's a Patriot. I don't think this would be a wise move. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Again, I don't think it would be smart, but apparently a possibility. Last but not least, just pulling up the draft order. Again, it just looking at it, I'm like, gosh, heck yeah. You basically, in a way, got 2 first-round picks right there, 2 solid picks in the 3rd round. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much potential here. So much potential here. Now, and if you scroll down too, you see the latest mock drafts. Interesting. I don't know. The more I read on Travis Hunter, the more I'm just like, I don't know if I don't even know if I don't think he'll be available at 4, but I think Will Campbell, Banks would be interesting. McClellan from Arizona. Who the heck knows? More information will come out as the combine comes out. Last but not least, one more thing. Yesterday we talked about some good news, some bad news, and I said it was bad news that Scott Peters was leaving. A lot of people got super offended by that. Now, I just want to specify, yeah, the offensive line was trash. It was hot garbage. It was flaming hot garbage. It was so bad. But the point I was trying to make was Scott Peters didn't just get canned and let go and he went and took like an assistant offensive line coach. He went and got a job as an offensive line coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals is a competitive team in the AFC. Granted, they weren't in the playoffs this year. The Chiefs were thanking the high heavens that they weren't. But when it comes down to it, I truly think that Scott Peters, with what he had, how bad that offensive line was, there was some diamonds that he found and somewhat made able to work. And when it came down to it, a lot of those offensive line guys liked him. Now, you look at the line, and again, I've called it Frankenstein time after time. Mike Nwenu, Cole Strange most likely playing center. But think of the practice squad guys he had to start and he had to figure out. Again, a coach he is trying to lead these men to be the best that they can be. And again, it's hard to do that when you got people who really are career practice squad players, if not second, third string players. And so again, I get why he's gone, and I have no issue with that. I'm just saying whether you like to, how do I want to say this? He got a job. He got a good job. He got a good job leaving. I think you give him a handful of years, he could have made that offensive line better. Again, I will say, good riddance though. But a lot of people were like, "Whoa, are you serious? That offensive line was so bad." Yes, it was awful. It was horrendous. But there was also a lot of people saying too, like, AVP should like have an opportunity to be the quarterback's coach because he wasn't that bad at helping develop Drake May. So same concept. But that being said, Scott Peters, best of luck wherever you go. I guess most Patriots fans have no desire to keep you. No desire. Anyways, whatever. It is what it is. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. On your way out, hit that subscribe button. Josh McDaniels, welcome back for your third time. We'll talk later. Peace.